ask you to imagine that we are in a room together. Told you I wanted you to think about that earlier today, right? We're having a conversation here through the chat queue and just enjoying learning from each other. And one of the things I want you to imagine is that we are in a room together, and I have asked you to come up to the front of the room. And I've asked you to pick a spot to stand in and to get real comfortable looking out at the audience. So imagine you're doing that. You're in front of a room and you're looking out and there's these people and all. And I ask you to describe out loud what it is you see. So you do. You tell me all the stuff you see, the people, the back of the room, all that kind of stuff. And then I ask you to stand in that same spot and to turn and look in the opposite direction. And I ask you to describe what you see then. Same spot, but now you're looking at the back of the room and you say, you tell me, oh, well, I see, the clock on the wall and I see the back door and I see the projector screen and all this kind of stuff. Here's my question to you, and I would like you to answer through the chat queue. How would it be possible in a little activity like that for you to be standing in the same spot, but potentially be seeing different things? How is that possible? Julie says different perspectives. Tori says you change your point of view. Liz says it's where your focus is. Shakira, yeah, perspective. Janie, same thing. Daniel, Tara, all caps. Okay, exactly. That is okay. So here's the thing. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but this was so powerful when it dawned on me the reality of it, and it really didn't until I went through a little activity like that. I mean, in theory, sure, but as we go through our life, it is completely up to us whether we choose to focus on everybody that we think has more than we do. Bigger house, nicer cars, more vacations to more exotic places, the latest designer clothes and jewelry and gold and diamonds and bling, all the toys. And newsflash, right? Even if you're Warren Buffett, well, maybe if you're not Warren Buffett, anybody except Warren Buffett, there's always going to be somebody that has more than you do. And even he doesn't have everything that, say, Tom Brady has or somebody else, because we all have different things, right? No one can have everything. There's always going to be somebody that has more than we do. But if that's what we're focused on, how much contentment do you think there's going to be in our life? But if instead we choose to focus on and cast our eyes on the 95% of the world that has far less than we do, now, how does that impact our level of contentment? And all it is what we're choosing to focus on. Sure, there's other factors, but that is a huge part of it. And think back to what we were saying about the emotional aspect of our financial decisions, right? Well, what kind of emotions are we going to have based on whether we're focused on exclusively those that we think have more than we do versus focusing on those that have less? And of course, hopefully our focus would be diverse and inclusive and we would be taking it all in. But the tendency is to focus one way or the other, and usually it's to those that have more. So Jeannie says, if you compare yourself with a few people, it will be completely different from looking globally. Very true. Darlene says, powerful statement. Ruth says, changing how you see things. Gratitude really is powerful. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, there are things that I should gravitate to that I don't always gravitate to so much. And sometimes the way it's presented, it's like, I'm just not, I'm not getting excited about it. And one of the things I've struggled with over the years that I know I should be more excited about is a gratitude journal. I do journal, but I mean specifically the mindset around a gratitude journal, an attitude of gratitude. And I'm just being way too transparent probably here, but I don't do a good enough job of that, and it's not like we have to do that, but there is something very powerful and very therapeutic about just living with a mindset of gratitude and contentment.